What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. It is time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we'll be looking at a game between Gosu ViBE and EG DeMusliM. Starting off in the lower left-hand corner, we have got our purple Terran player DeMusliM. He is currently the rank 1 in his master division of Infestor New with 245 wins and 91 losses. His opponent over here in the upper left-hand position is Gosu ViBE, our green Zerg player. Currently the rank 20 Grand Master on the US ladder with 94 wins and 47 losses. So yes, my friends, this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, DeMusliM versus Gosu ViBE. And starting things off, there we go. Going to be seeing a wall off from DeMusliM, nothing too fancy. Looks like the Overlord for Gosu ViBE, that initial Overlord, will be pulling on over to that upper right-hand spawn location. There are going to be 4 spawn locations on this map, so you do have a fair idea as to where your opponent is. Obviously, as we can see, that lower left and upper left position, and it is mirrored over here on the right-hand side in the upper right and lower right position. I do want to showcase you around the map because I don't believe I've done any commentary on this map before, so I just want to show you guys what you can see. Main base is somewhat large, not one of the biggest spaces, but you do have this open space right over here. Definitely something you need to keep an eye on. And of course, right outside the main, we have got that natural expansion. There is only one entrance into that natural expansion. That's going to be through that choke point right there. Just to the upper left hand of that, there is a third base, although there is a pretty wide opening into that third base in the case of this ramp here, and that leads up into the other ramp, which is going to lead right into that other location. As we can see here in this game, Gosu ViBE and DeMusliM relatively close, both on the same side here. It's not as if they're in a cross-positional location. ViBE has decided to open up here with expansion first as he got his hatchery drop down right now. Spawning pool will be coming shortly thereafter. He should be hitting 200 minerals very shortly, and at that point that'll come on through. Getting the full wall off there, DeMusliM does manage to trap a ViBE inside of his base there, so that drone isn't going to escape. He may try to steal the gas and try to prolong his life here and just try to be a nuisance. Would not be too surprised if that happened. As of now, though, just trying to get a couple of free shots there on the SCVs and do a bit of damage, just basically harassing as much as possible. Now, the first Marine is now out, and that's going to pull on forward. And oh no, the drone not going to be able to steal the gas as the Marine is able to cut him off and force him back. And now Gosu ViBE, unfortunately, not only is he going to lose the drone, but also doesn't get to steal that gas. So there you go. Drone is a goner. No more Marines in production right now. He is just sticking with the one. As we can see, there's a quick expansion coming out. At the same time, he does have that one refinery up and running. Very interesting style of play here. A lot of times, if you see that one racks expand, it's usually with no gas. But DeMusliM deciding to incorporate the gas. This is going to let him get that faster factory and let him tech up just a bit quicker. But there you go, yeah, pretty interesting opening there from him. Now taking a look back over here for Gosu ViBE, not a whole lot going on. Spawning pool is up. We have got 2 Zerglings coming on through, 2 Queens, one for the main and the natural. SCV scout for DeMusliM now gets to move up, and he'll be checking the main and seeing what he can see here. Now the 2 Lings are about to pop, so he's gonna have to be wary of those, but he wants to check up, of course, and look at the tech. Also wanted to see how many extractors and whether or not they were mining. So there you go. Now that the Lings are in play, unfortunately the SCV is forced back, and it's going to be close, so he's going to lose it. Oh, those Lings should be able to catch up at some point and take out that SCV. It is going to be just a matter of time, and there they go. Poor SCV. Back over here for DeMusliM, factory coming on through. We do have a reactor coming out on that racks. That'll be made for the hot swap and then followed up by 2 additional racks. So the type of opener is somewhat standard. It's just the fact that he went for such an early gas to get that factory quite a bit earlier. And this, of course, is going to allow him now to come out with some massive Hellions early on. Going to be churning out those double Hellions out of that reactor. That'll let him do a little bit of contain, likely sitting with the Hellions about here, and possibly if he masses up a large enough force, he could push in for some harass. However, we are seeing 2 spines plus a Queen blocking the ramp. That's going to make it very difficult for those Hellions to get up there and actually get any significant damage done. Taking a look at the vision, I just want to see there. No, he does not spot the reactor or anything like that. He's going to be moving in shortly with the Overlord. Is he going to sacrifice it now, or is he just going to pull on back as it's already rallied to? Yeah, he's going to let that pull back right over here. So he'll be using that for sacrificial scouting later down the road, just not quite at this moment. And there you go, as predicted, Hellions chilling out right here. The whole purpose of this is to basically stop a ViBE from getting any scouting done, stop him from pulling down any of these towers, and basically stop him from leaving his base. The other thing too is this also delays a possible third that the Zerg player could be going for. Gosu ViBE, all about the creep. Is he dropping 3 tumors right over there? In fact, does he have 3 queens? Yes, he does. He does have 3 queens in play. So 1 extra queen solely dedicated to dropping creep tumors. We will have a macro hatch out very shortly as well, as Gosu ViBE isn't really in the position to get an expansion out right now because of these Hellions. Macro hatch will give him access to that extra larva, which will certainly help him. And trying to sneak on by, but he's going to be met by another spine crawler. And a nice full wall off there with the evolution chamber, forcing those Hellions back around near that spine. Drones coming down, a couple of Lings also joining the fray. Now Hellions are doing a fair amount of damage, but they're not going to do anything significant here, as we did see ViBE was able to respond to that pretty quickly. And Queen preventing that Hellion from moving up into the main. Let's take a quick look here. Workers killed. Kill off 5 workers in that engagement. We take a look at the resources lost. Unfortunately, DeMusliM is behind in losing those 4 Hellions, and the extra 50 resources, I believe, is from an SCV he lost. So yeah, there you go. DeMusliM will be walling off. We're a little worried about a counterattack there. All he has at the moment are Marines. No upgrades yet, although he will have that stim pack as well as that combat shield very, very shortly. We'll be seeing some more Hellions. I will expect sometime soon, though, a transition into siege tanks. I think once again he's just a little concerned about a counterattack and wants to make sure that he can fend that off when and if it does come. However, as we can see, Gosu ViBE isn't about to attack, as he is now coming out with a 3rd base. Plus he dropped that macro hatch, so he really isn't in the position right now. You can see army-wise, he's only got 5 Lings in play. Really not in the position to move out and do any damage. DeMusliM, however, looks to be prepared to push out and see what he can do. He's going to be moving out here with this contingent of Marines. He's got a few Hellions as well. Let's see what he's able to do with this push. Ping down there, really annoying. Hate when spectators ping in games and then I end up seeing it in my damn replay. How frustrating. Scan gets dropped to let him take care of a massive amount of creep tumors, and he's going to force a cancel over here. ViBE really doesn't have a choice. He's coming out with some Banelings and Speedlings, but this is going to get forced cancel before that, most likely. Take a look at this. Yeah, doesn't stand a chance at all. Forced to cancel. Now finally some Banelings are in play, but it's a bit too late. Damage has been done. DeMusliM now moving forward. We got spines moving down. Finally stims up to contend with those spine crawlers, and see you later. A couple of Banelings will be pushing forward. It's going to be close, though. Here we go. Full surround by the Lings. Let the Banelings catch up. Nice Marine splitting, though. And some good micro from DeMusliM. Let him keep these Marines alive a wee bit longer. And he's actually doing some pretty significant damage with that. Take a look at those resources lost. As you can see, Gosu ViBE is behind DeMusliM right now. Those Marines stayed alive longer than they realistically should have. So very nice micro there by DeMusliM. ViBE now redropping that 3rd base. He, of course, wants that, and probably isn't too thrilled that he was forced to cancel. We've got a 3rd in the works over here for DeMusliM as well. He's also planning a follow-up push. Now with a transition into medevacs, he's got a siege tank in play, siege tech, just starting right now. And he's worried because now is about the time where we might be seeing Mutalisk. As you can see, Spire still only halfway done, though, so it's going to be a few more minutes until that actually happens. But DeMusliM preemptively preparing himself here. Overlord over here, and that's going to get hit by a missile turret in a moment, so hopefully he actually pulls back down with that. And no reason to lose that unnecessarily. Got a little Marine push over here with these medevacs. Here comes some Speedlings and Banelings. Let's see those Stim Marines. They'll split up. Doing what he can. That's a lot of Speedlings and Banelings, though, and unfortunately doesn't quite have enough Marines to stay alive. I love the attempts here with that micro. Doing everything he can. Finally lifting up those last 2 Marines and heading back home. He's like, haven't seen any mutas yet, so I guess I can lift him up. And yeah, very, very cool indeed. DeMusliM now coming out with an armory that's going to let him continue up some upgrades here. I do actually want to see, I know he's got 1. Yes, there's a 1 engineering bay in play at the very least. Level 2 weapons upgrades coming through as the level 1 has just finished. And now siege tanks with siege tech. He's ready to go with that marine tank medevac composition. That's basically what we expect to see from him from this point forward. Maybe eventually moving into some Ghost for EMPs against Infestors or Vikings to deal with Brewlords, but besides that, this should be the bulk of his army for the rest of the game. Sensor tower again laid down over here for DeMusliM. Got to make sure he gets some nice vision, especially from that Muta harass. It is about to come right now. We've got 2 Mutas, and just 2 Mutas moving out, in fact. ViBE deciding not to commit to Mutalisk at all. Just moving out with a very, very small force. Maybe trying to trick DeMusliM into thinking that a lot of Mutas will be coming. And maybe force him to drop a few additional turrets. That's certainly a possibility. In fact, already, there you go, drops 1 turret. And that's very unnecessary because he's only up against 2 mutas at the moment. It's going to be Speedling, Baneling, and Infestor for now, I believe. We've got that Infestation pick coming out. Burrow Research also coming on through. And the Zerg Flyer Carpus upgrade. That's interesting, especially since he doesn't really have a lot of mutas. We'll have to see if he makes a hot swap at some point. I don't know what I'm saying. Pushing on down with a bunch of Speedlings and Banelings. Let's see what he manages to do with this force. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do at all. There's a lot of tanks over here. A nice spread for them as well. Going to be pushing up and just getting a small little attack down. Doing as much damage as he can. Trying to wipe up a bunch of those. Banelings hitting from the top side as well. A little flanking force takes out a bunch of the Marines as they're retreating. Nice engagement there by ViBE. Fairly impressive, I'd have to say. Take a quick look. Resources lost. ViBE is still behind, but there's a lot of Marines lost there. Only 25 Marines left. Managed to do a bit of damage as well to those tanks, so pretty nice over there. Goes to ViBE, moved up into a 4th base right now. We still have DeMusliM just on the 3. Now we have got Hive Tech coming on through here for ViBE. He does already have that Infestation Pit in play. I don't know if he has any Infestors. No, he does not. Just Lings and Mutas right now. Finally coming out with some additional Mutas. Also getting some more upgrades for those. Speedlings and Banelings just kind of dancing around at the moment. That group not able to move in to do much damage. So let's take a look here. What is he going to be doing? That's the question. He is slowly coming out with more and more mutas. I think by delaying this, what he's trying to do is trick DeMusliM into thinking that he's not even going for mutas at all. And then eventually, once he's kind of massed up a strong muta force, pushing out and trying to do some effective harass. Still, though, we're going to have to wait and see what actually comes of that. Now, we do have some mutas now moving forward into the main base. Those get repelled by that missile turret. Taking a look at the upgrades, we can see the weapons level 3 upgrade coming on through. We also have armor level 1 coming out at this engineering bay right down over here. Let's take a look to see if there's any drops or anything. Nothing at the moment actually moving out for DeMusliM. He is pretty content just sticking here to defending his base. Has decided not to move out, at least for the time being. Muta's dancing around and pushing forward. They're going to walk into some stemmed up Marines though. It's going to force him back. Scan on the high ground, just spotting the forces. More mutas moving forward, and here we go. DeMusliM is prepared to push out right now. He's got to be careful. Those Speedlings and Banelings about to roll forward to those Marines. Tanks finally sieging up, and a beautiful Marine splitting there. Oh, the burrowed Banelings tearing through the Marines. How embarrassing. That was pretty awful for DeMusliM. Hefty loss. Very nice micro there by ViBE as he pulls forward with the Banelings, burrows them in the middle of combat, and then retreats, allowing him to bust those Banelings as the Marines pursue the rest of these Speedlings and Banelings that apparently were trying to run away. Gotta love that, though. I love when I see that. Actually, not too long ago, I had another game where that was taking place. More Speedlings and Banelings rolling forward, getting a full surround here on all those Marines and tanks. And oh, this is not looking too good here for DeMusliM's forces. However, enough Marines survived to be able to shoo away the last of the Mutalists, and the splash damage from the tanks took care of those Speedlings and Banelings. Scan gets dropped, allowing him to take care of some of those creep tumors as DeMusliM continues to push forward towards ViBE's natural expansion. Nice fungal growth there from an Infestor. Second fungal growth. Lets him take out the rest of those Marines. Very nice. Another fungal growth. That Infestor gets dropped quickly. We got some more and more Speedling reinforcements coming on through. But still, DeMusliM, he's still pushing. He's pretty happy to continue his push forward, even though he's taking pretty heavy losses. He's also doing pretty significant damage as well. Another scan, getting rid of the creep, and as a result, denying the vision there for ViBE. Really nothing that he can do about that. Gonna be pushing forward with these Marines here now, threatening to take out the 3rd base. Also the tank now within range of that natural expansion. Bunch of Speedlings coming up here from the high ground. Also moving on over here with a few Banelings, trying to overwhelm DeMusliM. He's already lost his 3rd. He's in a really tough spot. That tank spread, though, helping a lot against those Speedling and Baneling pushes. And DeMusliM, he's still alive and still very threatening. Gosu's ViBE has to contend now with the Marines pushing on his natural expansion. The 3rd is gone. Very vulnerable expansions over here as well. It's just going to take a matter of a small force for DeMusliM just to move over there. Gosu ViBE losing the natural expansion, and this is looking like he's got the game in the bag now. Dropping 2 expansions. At the moment, ViBE doesn't really have a response at all. DeMusliM continuing now to push into the main base. Got some Corruptors in play. He's going to be trying to get some Brewlords. Never mind. Greater Spire, as it's morphing in, gets sniped, and ViBE calls the GG. Alright my friends, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this game between DeMusliM and ViBE. Unfortunately ViBE wasn't able, even after a beautiful Banelane pop on a ton of Marines, wasn't able to defend himself against the relentless push from DeMusliM. Something to keep in mind in this game is that ViBE delayed his Mutalisk for quite a long time, and as a result DeMusliM, not having to deal with any harass, was able to mass up his forces, get some pretty strong upgrades, and then push out with that death push of Marine, Tank, Thor, and Medevac. And again, unfortunately, ViBE cannot defend against it. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks again, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.